to revenge with Lyra.
Idiot. How dare you quit your job? My mother screamed over the phone. I was pregnant too, and I still worked. What are we supposed to live on now? Your sister doesn't have a job either. Who's going to pay the bills now? I just stared at the wall, the phone pressed against my ear, my fingers trembling, not from guilt, but from the sheer exhaustion of years of emotional blackmail. My name is Rachel Green. I'm 31, and I've spent most of my adult life being my family's unpaid lifeline. When my father left, Mom crowned me the responsible one. I was 19, still in college, when she said, "We'll manage fine as long as you don't disappoint me." That phrase became a leash around my neck. I worked double shifts, skipped vacations, even postponed my engagement, all so my mother and my unemployed sister could get back on their feet. Except they never did. They just got comfortable. When I finally quit my corporate job last month, after years of burnout, anxiety attacks, and antidepressants, Mom didn't ask why. She demanded, "How dare you?" Her voice cracked through the phone like a whip. "You're selfish, Rachel. What will people say?" I hung up mid-sentence. For the first time in my life, I didn't apologize. I didn't cry. I didn't explain. Instead, I opened my laptop, stared at a blank document, and started planning something that would change everything for me and for them. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in my small apartment, surrounded by cardboard boxes from my old office, replaying her words in my head. "You're selfish. You've ruined everything. Your sister needs you." My sister, Lydia, 27, perfectly healthy, but allergic to responsibility. She'd always been Mom's favorite, my creative one. Creative enough to spend my paychecks on spa days and self-care retreats. I glanced at my reflection in the dark window. My eyes were hollow, my skin pale, the kind of tired you can't fix with sleep. For years, I had been their safety net, their excuse, their provider. And in return, I got shame and blame. I opened my laptop and stared at my resignation letter again, the one that freed me from a toxic boss but chained me tighter to my mother's guilt. That's when the idea hit me. If they thought I was still the family bank, fine. Let them think that for a while. But I was done funding their comfort. The next morning, I texted Mom, "Don't worry. I'll handle everything. Give me a few weeks." She replied instantly, "That's my girl. I knew you'd come to your senses." Oh, I'd come to my senses, all right. Just not in the way she thought. Because this time the money was staying with me. And the lesson? That was coming straight for them, with interest. The first part of my plan was simple: disappear without vanishing. I stopped sending them money, but didn't tell them outright. I blocked my sister on banking apps and quietly rerouted my direct deposits into a new private account. Within a week, the calls began. "Rachel, the electricity bill is due," Mom said. "I'll transfer you the receipt." Then Lydia called, her voice syrupy sweet. "Hey, sis, I just need a little help with rent this month. I swear I'll pay you back." That old ache, guilt, tried to crawl up my throat, but I swallowed it down. "No problem," I said softly. "Send me the details." Except this time, instead of paying their bills, I paid someone else, a private investigator. I wanted to know where my years of money had really gone. And when the report came in 3 days later, I nearly dropped my coffee. Designer handbags, casino charges, weekend getaways booked under Lydia's name. And my mother? Her account was full of loans for my savings, ones she never intended to repay. I stared at the receipts, trembling. 15 years of sacrifice turned into their playground. That night, I sat in the dark, candlelight flickering across the stack of papers on my desk. I whispered to myself, "They've used me long enough." Then I opened a new document titled Operation Lesson, and I smiled for the first time in years. Step 2 was psychological. If money was their oxygen, I was about to make them choke on the silence of scarcity. I started with small things, canceling the automatic payments that covered their utilities, unsubscribing from the shared streaming accounts, and quietly cutting the extra credit card my mom used for emergencies. Within days, the text changed tone. "Mom, sweetheart, did you forget the gas bill again?" They sent a notice. Lydia. I'm at the salon and my cards declined. Did the bank freeze the account? I didn't answer either. Instead, I drafted a message and pinned it to my fridge as a daily reminder. You don't owe anyone your peace. By the second week, desperation set in. Mom started calling from different numbers, leaving voicemails dripping with guilt. Rachel, we're family. You're punishing us for no reason. Lydia's been crying for days. Funny, I didn't remember them crying when I was working double shifts to pay for Lydia's car repairs. Then one evening, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. So, this is your revenge? Making your own mother suffer? You'll regret this. It was Lydia. She'd borrowed Mom's phone again. I looked at her message, sighed, and typed back. Not revenge. Accountability. Then I blocked her. Because my silence wasn't punishment anymore, it was self-respect. And I wasn't done yet. This was only phase 2. By the third week, they showed up. I came home from my morning jog to find my mother's car parked crookedly in front of my apartment building. Lydia stood beside her, sunglasses on, holding a half-empty Starbucks cup like a prop from a bad drama. Rachel. Mom snapped as I approached. We need to talk. I stopped at the bottom of the stairs, sweat still running down my temple. No, you need to listen. Lydia scoffed. Oh, here we go again, Miss Independent giving us another lecture. Mom folded her arms. You can't just cut us off like this. We're family. You're supposed to help. Help. I laughed, the kind that doesn't sound like laughter at all. You mean the way I helped pay for your loan? Or the way I helped Lydia avoid eviction 3 times? They looked stunned, like they hadn't expected me to remember. I pulled out my phone and held up a photo. The PI's report spread across my kitchen table. Casino receipts. Designer bags. Spa bookings. You used me, I said quietly. You took everything I worked for and treated me like your personal ATM. Mom's face turned red. That's not true. Save it. My voice cut through her denial. You raised me to be responsible. I'm finally doing that. Just not the way you wanted. Then I walked past them, up the stairs. And for once, they followed in silence. That night, they tried one last tactic, pity. Mom showed up at my door alone, clutching her purse like a prop in a tragedy. Rachel, she whispered, eyes glistening. I didn't mean to hurt you. You know how hard it's been since your father passed. I just needed a little help. I stood in the doorway, my hand resting on the frame. You didn't ask for help, Mom. You demanded it. And when I couldn't give more, you shamed me. Her lips trembled. I'm your mother. I only wanted what's best for you. No, I said softly. You wanted what's best for you from me. She looked up sharply, her expression hardening, the tears vanishing like mist under sunlight. You think you're so much better now, don't you? Just because you've got a job and a fancy apartment. And there it was, the real her. The guilt, the manipulation, the control. I stepped aside and gestured toward the elevator. Mom, I love you, but I love my peace more. Please go. For a second, she just stood there, stunned. Then she grabbed her purse tighter and hissed, Don't come crawling back when you realize family is all you've got. The door clicked shut behind her. And in that click, that small, sharp sound, something inside me broke free. It wasn't anger. It was relief. Pure, unshakable relief. 2 months passed. The silence that once felt eerie now felt sacred, like a house after a storm, still standing but finally quiet. I'd expected to feel guilt, maybe even loneliness, but what I felt was clarity. Without the constant calls and emotional blackmail, my mind had space again. I started painting, something I hadn't done since college. I spent weekends hiking instead of wiring money. I even joined a local support group for adult children of narcissistic parents. That's where I met others like me, people who had carried entire families on their backs until their spines nearly snapped. Hearing their stories didn't make me bitter. It made me realize that I wasn't cruel for saying no. I was surviving. Then one evening, while watering my plants, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Mom had a fall. She's in the hospital. She's asking for you. For a moment, my breath caught. The old reflex, to drop everything and rush, clawed at me. But then I remembered the hospital bills I'd paid last year. The way she'd told the nurse, "Rachel's just dramatic. She likes to feel important." I sat on my couch, heart pounding, and whispered, "Not this time." I texted back, "I hope she recovers. But I can't be there." Then I put the phone face down. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty for choosing myself. 3 weeks later, I received a letter. Not a text, not an email, an actual handwritten letter in my mother's perfect cursive. The return address was her house. Inside, just one page. "Rachel, I thought silence would punish you. Instead, it punished me. I didn't realize how much of my life revolved around controlling yours. Lydia finally left her boyfriend. She's living here now, and maybe she's starting to understand what you did long ago, that sometimes you have to lose people to find peace. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I only hope one day, when you think of me, it won't hurt so much. Mom." I read it twice, then folded it neatly and placed it inside a drawer. I didn't cry. I didn't call. I simply whispered, "Thank you," to an empty room. Because that letter wasn't an invitation back. It was an acknowledgement of my freedom. Weeks turned into months. I built a life filled with quiet mornings, art that healed me, and friends who didn't take more than they gave. Every once in a while, I'd pass a family laughing at a cafe and feel a twinge in my chest. Not sadness, just the reminder of what I'd survived. I'd learned that love isn't proven by how much pain you endure. It's proven by how much peace you protect. And for the